What's up guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a mini wooden American flag. Let's get started. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is cut 13 pieces of this 1x2 and we're going to cut them at 18.5 inches. Alright, now that I got them all cut, I'm just going to take some 220 grit sandpaper and just sand over the faces of them so that they get a nice, smooth, even finish. Alright, so now that we got them all sanded, next thing we're going to do is torch them. I like to use a Bernzomatic propane torch, and you can torch them however dark you want to, but I'm just going to show you how I torch them. And you just want to try and make sure you don't pause anywhere, otherwise it's going to leave a really dark spot, so you just want to try and keep moving. And let me just show you how it looks. So something like that is what I go for. And the darker you torch it, the darker the stain will look on it. So if you want it to look super dark, you could torch it super dark. But I'm gonna go ahead and torch the rest of these and then we'll be ready to stain. Alright, now that we got them all torched, we are ready to stain them. So for the red stain, I'll just be using this Minwax water-based wood stain, and it's tinted in scarlet. And then I have this Varathane water-based wood stain, and this one is tinted in navy blue. And I'll just be using a rag to stain them, but you can use a stain brush or a foam brush or whatever you want. And for the union, I'm just gonna measure 7 inches over and make a little mark. And then I'm gonna take a speed square and hold it right up against, just like that, right up against the mark so that I have a nice 90-degree angle. And then I'm just gonna take a utility blade and then I'm just gonna hold it right along that, and then I'm just gonna tap it in just so that it barely goes through the surface enough to where I can just stain right up to that edge. And then that will give me a really nice clean line for the red side, and then also for the blue side on the white stripes. And I'll just do everything 2 coats, and then once we're done with that, we'll be ready to assemble it. Alright, so my second coat just finished drying, and I just wanted to pull one of these off so you could see what it looks like. And as you can see, I stained just right on the insides of these also, just so that when we put it all together, in case it's not perfectly flush, there's no white lines on the red stripes, just to make it look a little bit better. But let me quickly show you what these look like. So they come off, and as you can see, makes a really nice clean line. Looks like I missed that corner, so I'll have to touch that up real quick. But I think this is the best way that I've found to do the stripes. That gives it a really nice clean line, and there's no bleeding through or nothing like that. So we can just pull all these off, and then we can bring the whole thing up onto the table. All right, now we're ready to glue the whole thing together. So just gonna go through and just lay them all down like this. And then I'll just be running a bead of glue down each one. And then we can flip them all back up. And then I just got a couple clamps here, and we'll just clamp them all together. And then just have like a extra piece of wood or something that you can put up against the one side, just to make sure that they're all lined up nice and straight. And then once we got that all clamped together, we can just let that sit for a little while so that it can dry, and then we'll be ready to start on the stars. All right, now that we've given this thing some time to dry, we can just go ahead and pull these clamps off. And now we're gonna take our stencil. This thing is 7 inches by 5 inches. And I can go ahead and link it down below if you wanna order one of these for yourself. And then we're just going to position it right up in this corner, and then we're just gonna tape it to these outside edges, and then maybe just tack a piece on maybe like this bottom stripe. We just don't wanna tape to the stain so that it doesn't pull any of that up. And then we're just gonna take a pencil and then just go through and mark them all out. And when you're doing this, make sure you keep your pencil fairly sharp, and then that will help you to get much cleaner lines. All right, let's pull this off and see how they turned out. Looking pretty good. And next we can just go ahead and start carving them. So to carve them, I'll just be using my Dremel 3000, and I have a flex shaft attached to it, and then I'll be using my dust blower at the end of it, or the little dust fan. And the tip that I'll be using for these stars is the 105, so it's like the smallest wood carving tip. So that's what it looks like, and you could probably get by with using a 106. Let me show you what that looks like. So 105 is on the left, the 106 is in the middle, or on the right here. And the 106 would probably work, but I think the 105 will just let me get a little bit cleaner lines on them, and the points to be a little bit cleaner, not like as rounded. But I'm sure if you use the 106, I'm sure it would look just fine still. And let me just go ahead and throw this tip on here and show you how it looks. And I can go ahead and link this kit down below also. It's got pretty much all the wood carving tips that I've used for making flags and different designs. So I think it's a nice kit to have. All right, and then I'm gonna turn the Dremel speed on full. And when you're carving these, the way I do it is I just kind of keep my palm just resting in one spot. And then for each line, I just wanna move back and forth like this. And then I'll just like move the position of my hand, because like going like side to side and stuff, I know I wouldn't be able to do them quite as straight, but that's just what works for me. So you just gotta try and find what will work the best for you to get nice clean stars. But let me just show you how it looks. Alright, and then that's what that looks like. So we can go ahead and get the rest of these stars carved out, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and add some finishing touches and seal it up. All right, now we got the stars all carved out. Now I'm just gonna take some more 220 grit sandpaper, and then I'm just gonna sand all the edges, and then I'll just do a light torch on them just to kind of match this right here so that the edge has a consistent look all the way around. And then if you want to, you can torch your stars. I think on this one I'm just gonna leave mine just the clean wood, just like that. And then after we get it all sanded and torched, we'll be ready to seal it. All right, now that we got the edges all sanded and burned, one more thing that I forgot we gotta do before we spray it is just quickly throw some hangers on the back. I prefer to use these little sawtooth hangers, but you can use any style picture hanger you want. And I think the easiest way to do this is just maybe put it from like the second stripe down, and then maybe like 2 inches off of each side, and then just center it in that second stripe, and that should give it a level hanging surface. So we can go ahead and throw these on. Alright, so I just went an inch down from the top and then made a mark, and then I just put this one 1.5 inches in, and then just line the other one up with the line that I had made. And now we can just go ahead and clean all the dust off of it, and then we can go ahead and seal it. And for sealer, I just use this Rust-Oleum crystal clear enamel, and I do 3 light even coats, and that should give it some good protection. Alright, and that is what it looks like all finished up. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on your projects.